සැත්කම් සඳහා ස්ථාවර අවමගාස්තු දැන් නවලෝකෙන් අමතන්න 0.71
PCR test results of 49 people attached to the Central Fish Market complex in Paliyagoda, commonly known as the Paliyagoda Fish Market, returned positive for the coronavirus today. The PCR tests of 105 traders and their associates at the Paliyagoda Fish Market, a hub for fish trade island-wide including the city of Colombo, were conducted on Monday. 46 out of the 49 positive patients are fish traders and the other 3 are their associates. The 49 infected persons are identified as residents of Mattakuliya, Vellampitiya, Angoda, Dematagoda, Grand Pass, Maradana, Maligavatta, Moratuwa, Battaramulla, Koswatta, Kadawatha, Hendala, Dalugama, Ragama, Kandana and Vattala, as well as Kalaniya. Following the detection of the infections, authorities took steps to temporarily shut the Paliyagoda Fish Market until further notice.
රෝගය මේ මාළු වෙළඳ පොළට ආවේ රැන්ඩික්ස් පොකුරේ ඉන්න රෝගීන්ගෙන්ද නැත්නම් ඒ රෝගීන්ට දීතික ආසාදනයක් විදියට නැත්නම් දෙපැත්තකින් ආසාදනයට යොමු වුණාද කියලා. ඉතින් එහෙම වුණොත් තමයි අපිට ඒක තීරණය කරන්න වෙන්නේ වෙනම පොකුරක්ද නැද්ද කියන එක. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා අපිට සමාජගත වෙනවා කියන්නේ මෙතනට පැහැදිලි සාධකයක් නැහැ. මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අපි දකින්නේ මුළු කොළඹ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයට සංචරණ සීමාවක් පනවන්න ඇඳිරි නීතියක් පැනවීමේ අවශ්‍යතාවය.
2 people residing in the area of Halmulla of Vellampitiya who operated at the Paliyagoda Fish Market were infected with the virus and their relatives were referred for PCR tests. In addition, 78 persons belonging to about 50 families in the Halmulla area have been detected to self-quarantine. Meanwhile, another 4 COVID-19 infections at the Kottava Fish Market led to its temporary closure. The infected persons have been admitted to the Pimbura Base Hospital in Kalutara. With 6 more COVID-19 patients being confirmed from the Bangalavatta area in Ranmutugala of Kadawatha, measures were taken to restrict movements in the area. Among those infected are fishmonger associated with the Paliyagoda Fish Market, his wife and the son. With that, steps were taken to conduct PCR tests on around 200 first line of contacts of the relevant infections. Meanwhile, the officer in charge of Fort Police stated that 2 more police officers of the Western Province Special Investigation Unit have been infected with the virus. They were both associates of the police inspector who previously tested COVID-19 positive. The Fort Police Station, which is also located in the same building as the Western Province Special Investigation Unit, had to be closed for a few hours but resumed duties this morning. Elsewhere in Colombo, the total number of infections from the Colombo dockyard has now increased to 31. Health authorities confirmed that a resident of Alapatha in Ratnapura employed at the dockyard had tested positive for the virus, which had led to the self-isolation of 98 people belonging to 21 families. In the meantime, the director of the Kalubovila Teaching Hospital confirmed that a member of the junior hospital staff has been infected with COVID-19. The staffer, a resident of Dehiwala, had last reported to work on the 15th and about 40 members of staff identified to have come into contact with him have been referred for PCR tests. On a separate development, 2 patients who were admitted to ward number 46 and 56 of the Colombo National Hospital has been diagnosed with the virus. The infected are identified as residents of Jintupitiya and Maradana. In the meantime, a wholesale trader at the dedicated economic centre in Meegoda was also confirmed to be an infected COVID-19 patient, which resulted in closure of the business premises while placing 19 of his associates under quarantine. He was admitted to the Jayawardhanapura hospital due to health complications and a subsequent PCR test had confirmed his diagnosis. Measures were taken to self-isolate his family members. In Gampaha, with 2 masons who were engaged in construction work at a temple located in Veyangoda recently being diagnosed with COVID-19, 48 residents of the area were subjected to PCR tests. Test results of 3 of them returned positive today, and they are the 3 children of one of the infected masons. Meanwhile, another employee of the Kahatudu apparel factory has tested positive for COVID-19 and he is a resident of Talagala in Horana. With that, the area public health inspectors took measures to quarantine people from 6 shops and 6 houses the infected person frequented. In the Kalutara district, the total number of COVID-19 infections identified so far currently stands at 52. In addition to the 3 villagers currently isolated in the Matugama area, people of another 400 houses in the district were placed under self-isolation. In more developments, the mother, father and wife of the infected person reported from the Balapitiya area have also been diagnosed with the virus. 40 people who attended the funeral house, which was also attended by the infected, have been placed under quarantine, and among them is the chairman of the Balapitiya Pradeshya Sabha. In the meantime, the number of infected persons identified so far from the Kuliapitiya MOH division has increased to 30. More than 1,000 PCR tests were conducted within the division and 30 returned positive. Around 990 of their associates are currently placed under quarantine.
උපපොකුරු ගණනාවක් රට පුරා විවිධ ප්‍රදේශවලින් නිර්මාණය වෙමින් තියෙනවා. මේ පොකුරු බොහෝමයක් අපිට තාමත් අපිට යම් සම්බන්ධතාවයක් මේ මිනුවන්ගොඩ පොකුරත් එක්ක හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් වෙලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් සමහර අවස්ථාවලදී අපිට බැලූ බැල්මට මේ රෝගී පොකුරු අතර එකිනෙක සම්බන්ධතාවයක් පේන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක නිසා මේක බරපතල තත්ත්වයක්. සමාජය තුලින් රෝගීන් හම්බ වෙමින් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් අපි සමාජ ව්‍යාප්තියක් අභියසට පැමිණලා ඉන්නවා කියලා කිව්වොත් යම් කෙනෙක් ඒක මං හිතන්නේ මේ මොහොතේ වඩා වළංගු තර්කය වෙනවා. මේ මොහොතේදී රට වැහිම නෙමෙයි සිද්ධ විය යුත්තේ. මේ මොහොතේදී ප්‍රදේශ සම්බන්ධයෙන් හරි තීරණ ගන්න එක තමයි සිද්ධ විය යුත්තේ.
With the prevailing situation in mind, the police announced today that the entire district of Gampaha will be under curfew from 10 p.m. tonight until 5 a.m. on Monday the 26th. Earlier, curfew was only imposed in 19 police areas of the Gampaha district.
මේ කොවිඩ් රෝගී රෝග ලක්ෂණ නොවන යම්කිසි ආකාරයක රෝගයක් හදිස්සිය ඇති වුණොත් එවැනි අයට ප්‍රතිකාර ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා රෝහල් වෙත ගමන් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඍජුවම ඒ වගේම ගැබිනි මව්වරුන්ට ඇදිරි නීතියේ සීමාවන් බලපාන්නේ කෙසේ වෙතත් උසස් පෙළ විභාගයට පෙනී සිටින ශිෂ්‍ය ශිෂ්‍යාවන් සිටිනවා ඒ සියලු දෙනාට මේ ඇදිරි නීති සීමාවන් බලපැවැත්වන්නේ නැහැ සම්පූර්ණ ගම්පහ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ කුමන හෝ මාර්ගයක් කරා වාහනයක් ගමන් කරනවා නම් ඒ වාහනය එම ප්‍රදේශයේ නැවැත්වීමට හැකියාවක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. අද රාත්‍රී 10 සිට මේක ඉතාම දැඩිව ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා. ගම්පහ දිස්ත්‍රික්කය තුල ආයෝජන මණ්ඩලයේ විශාල කර්මාන්තශාලා රැසක් පිහිටවලා තියෙනවා. සෞඛ්‍ය බලධාරීන්ගේ උපදෙස් මත ඒ කර්මාන්තශාලා පවත්වාගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. මෙම ප්‍රදේශවල අත්‍යවශ්‍ය සේවා පවත්වාගෙන යන ජලය, විදුලිය, sannivedana සේවා ඒ වගේම ගුවන් තොටුපොළ සේවා එමෙන්ම මාධ්‍ය කාර්ය මණ්ඩල මේ අයට තමන්ගේ හැඳුනුම්පත භාවිතා කරමින් ගමන් කරන්න පුළුවන්. කුලියාපිටිය පොලිස් කොට්ටාශේ පොලිස් ස්ථාන 5ක නිරෝධායන ඇදිරි නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා පොලිස් බල ප්‍රදේශ 5ක ආශ්‍රිතව. එයත් නැවත දැනුම් දෙන තුරු ඒ ආකාරයටම ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
What's more, the total number of infected persons emerging from the Minuwangoda COVID-19 cluster has increased to 2,451, with the addition of today's 109 fresh cases. Among the 109 infections are 49 identified from the Paliagoda fish market and 37 from quarantine centres. Meanwhile, 23 are associates of the Minuwangoda factory employees. Accordingly, the total number of coronavirus infections confirmed in the country since the inception of the pandemic shot up to 5,920, from which 2,406 among are currently under treatment. 3,501 persons have completely recovered from the virus to date.